Hello everybody, Mike here at Game from Scratch, and we have another bundle out there for you to get your 2D and audio assets for your game. And actually this one is not Humble Bundle, but if you're used to Humble Bundle, you will definitely recognize these because I have covered them in the past. This is from GDM or GameDev Market, and they have had 3 or 4 bundles on Humble. So we're also gonna have to be a little careful that you haven't bought some of this content before. And I will show you how to go about doing that. So if you're a regular to purchasing Humble Bundles and you wanna check this out, I will show you where the overlap is and how you can check to see if you're buying something twice. Now, first off, back to the bundle. I will toss the link down below that will get you here. They are launching the ability to create bundles on GameDev Market. So as a launch, part of that launch, what they've done is they've grabbed a collection of stuff together and they've created the Bundles Launch Pack, which includes a number of bundles. I believe it is 25 in total assets, and they are all 90% off as part of this bundle. So you're looking at $325 worth of stuff available for $32.50. And that may apply. I don't know the conditions there. I believe just if you're in Europe, you're gonna have to pay VAT on top of that as well. So that is kind of the basic idea. Now this one I'm coming to a little bit in progress. It's been running for about a half a week now, I believe. It's running until October 30th though. So you still got plenty of time if you wanna pick anything in this bundled up. Now one thing to know about GameDev marketplaces, they're actually a place for game developers to sell their own stuff. So you've got a collection of assets that are available in a number of different genres and art styles and so on, because they are from a number of different creators. So that means trying to get a consistency across them. What you're going to get and the quality of what you're going to get is going to be a little bit random because you have different quality artists in this gig. So first, let's take a look at what is actually in this bundle, and then we'll jump into the details of a couple of them because the devil is truly in the details. So here we go. Massive Game Music Collection, the RPG Fantasy Music Pack Lite, Music Loops Mini Set, Farm Game Sounds, Chip Tunes. So we got a lot of audio stuff there to start things off. Then we got 2D hand-painted town tile set, 2D hand-painted extra objects, the side-scrolling mode game level pack, the game backgrounds pack, the cave scene creator, mega farm scene creation pack, skill icon pack, sci-fi skill icon pack, fantasy platforms, 78 hand-painted textures, monster time fantasy RPG sprite pack, space game GUI set, asteroid crusher game assets, over 80 RPG with animations, RPG pixel characters with animations art pack, effects animation. Yes, that one's hard to say. Effects animations, 7 Souls RPG graphic sprites, building and crafting special effects pack, sound effects pack, 7 Souls RPG graphic tiles dungeon tile set, the super retro sound effects pack, and then finally the vehicles pack. Now, if you have been buying up all kinds of Humble Bundles in the past, this will look familiar. That will look familiar. That will look familiar. Maybe that one and that one. So definitely some of these have been in prior packs, but again, I will show you how to go about finding that out. Now, the next thing you're probably most interested in finding out is what is actually in each individual pack. And that's straightforward enough to basically just go to view assets. Now, the nice thing about GameDev Market is they do a pretty good job of breaking down what is inside. So in this case, you're getting PNG files, but you're also getting PSD files. So they're created in Photoshop. You can see it, no vectors are available, but it's layered and sprite sheets. You're getting, in this case, 128 by 128 tiles. So you know what your maximum resolution is. There's 245 tiles, there's water animations and so on. And then the key thing is stuff like this. It comes in PSD formats and with 3 color versions. So what you can do with PSD versions is you can recolor it or change it because you've got the raw source materials to work from. Some cases, some of these assets will just literally be a bunch of pings you can use in your game or not. So you're going to want to check out each individual asset before you jump in. And you also got some of them, such as, for example, this Space Game UI pack. And you will find in it's got vector graphics format. So if you need to scale it to do different resolutions, you can do so. You can also see what the backgrounds are, what is actually contained within it. And you'll also get ping versions and so on. So the cool thing here is you are going to be able to find out what any asset actually consists of and to see how useful it will be to modifying it going forward. So in a lot of cases, some of this stuff may not work too well just dumped into a game because it'll be so obvious it was taken from a pack. But if you're getting the raw source materials to work from, you can then potentially modify it to make it look good enough, or you can derive it to make your own works with a consistent looking art style because you've got the source materials. Whereas, like I said, in some other cases, is literally just the output. And if you don't use the output as it stands, you're kind of screwed. So that is the pack. It is, again, $32.50 for the entire thing. What I think it boils down to price-wise, you see most of these things are between $5 and $25. If you probably find 3 items in here, maybe 4 items total that look of worth to you. All the rest of it is basically free. If you don't find 3 items here, this pack probably isn't for you, and you're better off just picking up the individuals. Now, the 2 key things, again, that you're probably going to be interested in are license details and if it's in Humble. So let's first get over to the license. I got to go through all of those things that I closed down. All right, here we go. So this is actually something that we encountered in the past when we were dealing with Humble bundles. They originally had this deprecated basic license, which sucked. It was dual licensing, and it made it so you couldn't really use it in commercial, or you could only use it in 2 games or something like that. It was kind of a bad license, and then as a result of feedback, they switched over to this pro license. And the entire idea behind these licenses is to not only protect the seller, but just to protect the buyer. So the people that are selling content on GameDev Marketplace don't want other people reselling their content as content, for example. So you'll get that in the license. But the key thing to be aware of with this license is right here, this sentence. So the pro license allows you to use an asset in a game that is released for any price and or is monetized in some way. The license is not exclusive. That last line sounds scary, but really isn't. It basically means that you're not exclusively licensing these assets, so they can sell them to 4 billion other people, and the same license applies to all of those people. If you want to get into full details about the license here, and if you're intending to use these assets in a commercial project, I recommend you do, but the license is available here. It's a lot cleaner than it used to be. I do highly recommend going into this license in more detail if you intend to use this stuff commercially. If you're going to be just using this for placeholder art or whatever, just buy it. It doesn't really matter. The license isn't going to make a difference. But if you were looking at actually selling this stuff in some way, shape, or form, do go through the license. But this has been vetted a couple of times since the Humble Bundle stuff, and it hasn't changed since Humble. So the license should be fine for most people. Now, the key thing, again, as I mentioned, Humble Bundle. The Humble Bundle is important because, as I mentioned earlier on, a lot of these assets overlap with previous bundles. Now, if you haven't bought any of the previous Humble Bundles, you've got nothing to worry about. But if you have, you're probably going to want to know or be able to check what is a duplicate. And in order to do that, just log into your Humble Bundle, go to the library tab like so, go to the search field and just type in GameDev space market, and then hit enter. And then what you'll get is a complete list of everything you bought. Now, I am a hoarder extraordinaire, so you will find I have bought pretty much every bundle for game development ever. So this is the worst case scenario. And right off the hop, you can see this game dev backgrounds, that is part of the bundle. And if I keep going down this, the ones that are in this are the Seven Souls Sprites pack is in this new bundle as well. Let's see, what else is duplicate? So that's just 2 that are duplicates. I know there's a couple more to just watch out for. The pixel characters, 80 pixel characters was a duplicate. And I don't see that much else. So a lot of this stuff is not an overlap from previous Humble Bundles. Oh, Skill Icon Pack is a duplicate. And that's about it as far as I can tell. But as you saw, there is some duplication between this. So this guy is a duplicate, this guy is a duplicate, this guy is a duplicate, and this guy is a duplicate. And there may be more. I just did a quick scan, but as you saw from all the previous Humble Bundles, there is a little bit of overlap. So do be sure to check your bundles to make sure that the asset that you might be interested in isn't already, in your library. I hate people buying stuff twice by accident. All right, so here you go. That is the Game Dev Market Bundles Launch Pack. It'll be interesting to see how many more bundles they start coming out with, if we're going to see more and more content from them directly, and if it's going to be a very viable way to get stuff. Also, let me know if you want me to continue covering the future stuff that they launch. It's an interesting source. People love getting assets. It's a decent price for sure if you can find a handful of items in there that meet your needs, or if you need to get a good stock amount of placeholder art for your game development, could be a good place to go. So do let me know if you want me to continue covering GDM stuff as well, at least if it's not too constant. And again, a bit of a final warning, I am late to the scene on this one. It has been running for a little while now. So you have, I'll be publishing this tomorrow, so you have 8 days left to pick up this bundle as it stands right now. So that's it. Let me know what you think. Let me know how much overlap you have with your Humble and this particular bundle. And let me know what you think of GameDev Marketplace stuff that you've picked up in the past. Like I said, the quality and what you get, it really varies massively because this is literally a marketplace for game developers. So when you've got a bunch of different game developers creating a bunch of different assets, you're going to get a bunch of different quality, not unlike any other asset store that is out there. All right, that's it. I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.